morning, Garden family. I'm Jay Ahn, and I co-lead the Welcoming Ministry. Um, my testimony is about how I was welcomed into this body from day one and how I've been impacted ever since. Um, People often talk about needing and wanting a life-giving community, but not everyone finds it. But I've been so blessed to have found the Garden, a truly life-giving community that I consider my family. Like quite a few of us, I'm a pastor's kid, a PK, and was raised in a super devout Christian home and accepted Christ at a very young age, and really was on fire for God through my teens. When I went to Cal, I got plugged into a very good church my freshman year, and things seemed to be okay spiritually, but I started to drift away from God sophomore year and slowly stopped walking with the Lord. After college, I came back down to LA and went to a few different churches, but failed to find a church that I can really call home. A few years later, my dad started his own church, and I attended there and eventually became a deacon and served with my wife Linda, but I never regained my intimacy with God. In the summer of 2015, I showed up at the Garden a week after my dad's retirement, largely because we were longtime friends with Priska, Uran, Charlie, and Jen. It was the darkest time of our lives because Linda was pregnant with our son Joseph, who had been diagnosed with a genetic disorder early in the pregnancy. And we did not know whether he would come into this world, or if he did, we didn't know how long he would be with us. With God's grace, we got to meet him and spend 30 precious days with him. This trial really enabled me to experience the love of the Father through the Garden family in an unprecedented way, and it really touched the core of my soul. The Garden sisters threw the most beautiful baby shower. Pastor David and Pastor Sharon were there to bless our son when he was born, and were there before he went to heaven and led the most beautiful and heartfelt service. Charlie came down to the hospital to feed us and pray over us. And I can't even count the number of times Priska came to visit, never empty-handed. We were showered with so much love by this community. Tremendous amount of meals on wheels, endless prayers and encouragement. With each sermon, with each CG meeting, and with each mentoring session, shout out to Mike Wang and Don Shin, I experienced God slowly transforming my life. And I distinctly remember the night I came back to the Father's house. It was the first night at the family retreat in 2018 when Sister Caroline Wang started praying for me and Linda. As soon as she put her hand on me, endless streams of tears flowed down my face. I had never cried like that my entire life. That was a moment that I really mourned over the loss of my son. Also the moment that I realized that God used this great tragedy for me to re-experience God with the help of the Garden family. That was the night that Jay Ahn, the prodigal, finally came home. After I recommitted my life to Christ, it has not been an easy road. Our family went through yet another dark time 5 years ago when my wife was diagnosed with cancer. And of course, this community rallied around us once again during that trial. Shout out to Sister Gina Leeper, who texted us her heartfelt prayers every single day during chemo. 10 years ago, I was about 3 feet under spiritually, but because of this life-giving community at the Garden, I've grown closer to him than ever before and have been privileged to serve on several missions and ministries. And for that, I'm forever grateful to the Garden family. I'm a classic introvert, and so it takes a great deal of energy for me to lead the welcoming ministry. But what I do excites me because I have the honor of possibly welcoming in the next Jayon, a prodigal who have been lost for 20 years, to take root at the garden and once again thrive in the Father's house. Praise be to God. Thank you.